In 2019, I set out on a journey that would take me from the bustling city of Los Angeles to the serene landscapes of Juneau, Alaska. The inspiration for this trip came from a portrait, a woman whose beauty and meaning stirred something deep within me. That feeling quickly turned into a decision. I had to visit Juneau. With my mind made up, I boarded a train to Seattle, enjoying the scenic ride and the emotions that came with leaving behind the familiar. My destination was clear, and every step felt purposeful as I prepared to discover what Juneau had in store. After reaching Seattle, the next leg of my journey awaited, a flight to Juneau. The anticipation built as I soared above the clouds, leaving the mainland behind and heading toward the wild beauty of Alaska. The flight itself was exhilarating, offering glimpses of endless forests and icy waters below. As the plane descended into Juneau, I felt a sense of excitement and curiosity. What would I find in this remote city? My expectations were high, but nothing could have prepared me for the breathtaking views and the sense of peace that greeted me upon arrival. Stepping into Juneau, I was immediately struck by its natural beauty. The city, nestled between mountains and the ocean, felt both remote and welcoming. My plans were carefully mapped out, so finding my way around was easy. The air was crisp and the scenery was unlike anything I had experienced before. I knew my visit would be short, just a day or two, but every moment felt significant. The combination of anticipation and the stunning environment made me eager to begin exploring the places that had drawn me here in the first place. My first stop was a unique sight. The Russian Orthodox Church and the Roman Catholic Church, standing side by side, separated only by a narrow street. The proximity of these two places of worship was striking, just a few steps apart yet representing different traditions. It reminded me of the Bering Straits, where Russia and Alaska are separated by a thin stretch of water. This closeness sparked thoughts about connection and division, about how boundaries can be both real and symbolic. I paused to reflect on the meaning behind these neighboring churches. As I visited the churches, I decided to collect small samples of rocks and dirt from each site. These tangible pieces served as reminders of the places I had seen and the experiences I was gathering. Each sample held a story, a connection to the land and the history of these sacred spaces. Afterward, I hailed a taxi and made my way to my next destination, feeling a sense of accomplishment and curiosity about what lay ahead. The act of collecting these items made the journey feel even more personal and meaningful. My second destination was the National Shrine of St. Therese, a place renowned for its beauty and tranquility. As I arrived, the view over the ocean was breathtaking. The shrine itself seemed to blend seamlessly with the natural surroundings, offering a peaceful space for reflection. Here I collected more samples, rocks, sand, and dirt from the ocean's edge. The experience was both spiritual and grounding, connecting me to the land and the water in a way I hadn't anticipated. The shrine left a lasting impression, its beauty etched in my memory. My visits complete, I returned to the Juneau airport and checked into a nearby Motel 8. The motel was within walking distance, making it a convenient place to rest and reflect on the day's experiences. That night I organized my samples and notes, thinking about the journey and what I had learned. The quiet of Juneau at night was comforting, and I felt a sense of closure as I prepared for my return trip to Los Angeles. The adventure had been brief but deeply meaningful. While there were many reasons behind my trip, the main purpose I'm willing to share centers on visiting the Russian and Catholic churches and the Shrine of St. Therese. These places held a special significance for me, both personally and in the context of this report. The closeness of the two churches was unusual and thought-provoking, prompting deeper questions about community, division, and unity. The shrine, with its serene beauty, offered a space to contemplate these themes and the broader connections between people and places. Russian Orthodox and Roman Catholic churches in Juneau are more than just buildings. They are symbols of different traditions standing side by side. This physical closeness made me think about the many branches of Christianity, each with its own congregation, yet often close enough to hear each other's voices. It's a powerful image, reflecting how communities can be separate yet interconnected. The churches became a metaphor for the broader relationships between groups, whether religious, political, or social. This observation led me to draw parallels between religious congregations and political parties. Both are made up of individuals who come together around shared beliefs or goals. Just as churches have their congregations, political parties have their constituents, and secret societies have their members. Each group is led by a core of decision-makers who guide the direction of the whole. The similarities between these organizations are striking, especially in how they manage power and influence. In churches, political parties, and secret societies alike, decisions are often made by a small group at the top. This concentration of power raises important questions about accountability. When things go wrong, whether it's abuse, corruption, or wrongdoing, where does responsibility truly lie? Is it with the leaders, or does it extend to the entire group? These questions are not just theoretical, they have real consequences for how organizations function and how justice is pursued. One of the central questions that emerged from my reflections is, where does the buck stop? In other words, when abuse or wrongdoing occurs within a church, a political party, or a secret society, who is ultimately responsible? Is it the leaders who make the decisions, or do the members also bear some responsibility? This question challenges us to think about the nature of accountability and the roles we all play within our communities and organizations. Suppose clear evidence of wrongdoing comes to light, evidence that is undeniable and public. If those in power refuse to address the harm, what then? Does the responsibility shift to the broader group, the congregation, the constituents, or the club members? This scenario raises difficult questions about collective action and moral duty. When leaders fail, do ordinary members have an obligation to step in and seek justice? The answer is complex and depends on the values and courage of the community. The idea of collective responsibility is challenging but essential. When we belong to a group, whether a church, a political party, or a society, we share in its successes and its failures. If harm is done and leaders ignore it, members must decide whether to accept the status quo or demand change. This process is never easy, but it is crucial for maintaining integrity and trust within any organization. Ultimately, accountability is not just about leaders, it's about everyone involved. As my journey came to an end, I found myself reflecting on the deeper meanings behind my experiences in Juneau. The closeness of the churches, the beauty of the shrine, and the questions about accountability all pointed to a larger truth. Boundaries may separate us, but our responsibilities to one another remain. Whether in faith, politics, or society, the challenge is to recognize our shared humanity and act with integrity. My trip to Alaska was more than a physical journey. It was a journey of thought and conscience, one that continues to shape my understanding of community and responsibility.